Welcome to Super Movie Brothers. Let's start the show.
This is a podcast on the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Welcome to Super Movie Brothers, episode 154. I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Dave.
I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Jay.
Jay, this episode is Review-a-Palooza.
Yes.
Because we have so many movies that we got to review.
It's exciting.
So I know what we did. We did movie cocktail last week, which means we didn't get to talk about it in the movies.
Right.
Me and Lauren went out and we saw Aladdin, so I got a review for that. I saw Godzilla, King of Monsters. You saw Rocketman. I feel like you got the better end of that deal this time. We both saw Booksmart, and we both saw Always Be My Maybe. That's five.
Yes.
That's 5 reviews that we're gonna have to do in 5-minute-ish spoiler-free format that we're gonna have to tag onto the end of this episode. So we got a little bit of work cut out for us, and then we got all the new trailers that dropped that we're gonna have to talk about. Got Rambo.
It's a fun episode.
Yeah, got Rambo. We got to talk about Terminator: Dark Fate, the new Pixar movie Onward that got a trailer that dropped, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. So we got 4 trailers, 5 movie reviews to do. It's really all we got time for this week. But before we start getting into all of that, Jay, what have you been up to this week, man?
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry.
Well, you know what, man? Honestly, it's been just a whirlwind of the same old shit. Other than your lovely house party over Memorial Day weekend, we never really got to discuss and talk about because of movie cocktail last week.
No, we did. So, yeah, we did. Me and Lauren, not last minute, about 2 or 3 weeks before we had it. I was like, let's have a bonfire, let's have a day where we just have people come over and play yard games. Yeah. So we bought some yard games that we didn't have, built some other ones, and we were just like, dude, let's have like a yard game Olympics, like yard Olympics.
Yeah, check out the social media because we posted a couple photos of what it looked like, a couple of the games, and it was great because I haven't played those games in quite a while, and it's fun when they're all stacked up and we got a tournament style going.
So we had washers, which is basically like horseshoes. It's a box that you throw washers from like 25, 30 feet away.
Kind of the toughest game.
It's the toughest game. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. It's the toughest game. It's the one that took the longest to play, and it kind of threw off all the other ones. So I think next year, washers is out and giant yard Jenga is in.
That's also going to take a while.
Yeah.
Well, it can. It depends.
And then we had obviously cornhole, and then we also had ladder ball, and then the final game to decide the championship and what everyone's placement would be in the end was Frisbeer, which is an awesome game where
Jay gets a massive gash on his shin and it takes 2 weeks to heal up because
right. So it's got some crazy rules to the game, right? Yeah. Because you hit the bottle, you knock the bottle off, the bottle hits the ground, and the team doesn't catch the frisbee. That's 3 points.
Right.
They catch the frisbee, bottle hits the ground. That's 2 points. Or you hit the stick and the bottle hits the ground and the frisbee hits the ground, 2 points.
All at the same time, you have to catch the frisbee.
You have to catch the frisbee, and there's 2 people on each team, so you have to watch the frisbee coming in. You have to designate someone to watch that beer bottle and not let that hit the ground. You have to designate someone to catch the frisbee. And of course, we all just spam the game and think like, if we just throw fucking bullets as hard as we fucking can.
If you're a good thrower,
I
mean, you'd be destroying the competition.
So basically what we decided to spam the game with each other was just launch frisbees as hard as we can at the person's knees, because our rule was above the knees it's catchable, below the knees it's not. So just start beaming people right at the balls. Just start aiming for balls. My team ended up coming in third, and then our friend Ryan, he came, and my cousin Fran, they came in second, and surprise, you and Sam get the fucking gold medals, man. I'm sitting over there on the bronze pedestal, and you and Sam are standing up there receiving gold medals. I loved it.
It was fun. Sam, I was really happy when Sam when I was announced as my partner. I was like, okay, I trust Sam. I think we're gonna have a good little back and forth, and we did. We played well. It was a lot of fun, and I think we got a little too drunk and celebrated too hard because once we hit when the tournament was over, playing beer pong, we were horrible.
Yes. Yeah, I did. We did end up. I ended up playing my cousin Fran in beer pong until like 3:00 in the morning.
Oh man,
so it got a little ridiculous.
And oddly, being 6'8", you would think I'd be great at beer pong. I have never been that good at beer pong. I have no idea why. For some odd reason, it's just not my thing.
I don't even remember the moment where someone was like, "Who wants to play beer pong?" I don't remember that. Who said that? Who did that?
I'm not really sure.
I just remember cups came out, and I was like, "I got balls." Next thing I know, we're all playing beer pong.
I think it was your cousin. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not really sure.
No clue. I just know that it happened.
It did happen. But anyway, it was a great day. It was probably the best part of the Memorial Day weekend for me because, the weather was nice, and the rest of the time I was working mostly and the weather was hit or miss and we got a lot of like tornado warnings and shit around here. It was kind of nutty around here.
Dude, I'm still dealing with like flood cars like at my job. Like it's just cars coming in. It's like it's flooded. And I have to like explain to people it's like
a wild week.
That means your car's never coming back. Kiss it goodbye. Okay. It's going to go to the crusher.
Oh, yeah, your car was a flood. Oh, yeah, we're going to crush it, brother. Snap it to a Slim Jim. Eat me.
All right, so what else did you do besides my lovely Memorial Day party, sir?
I went to another Memorial Day party, and I went little late night skinny dipping.
Oh, was this with the girlfriend though?
This was not. I was with my older friends, and they threw a party, and it was late night. Everybody was starting to get a little bit more drunk, and it was just fun and laid back. And finally, the weather cleared up, and everybody just got a little silly.
Okay.
And we jumped in, bathing suits on, and just take them off. It wasn't like risque or anything like that. It was just
right. It's not like you're 16.
PG-13.
It's not like you're 16. You want to explore each other's bodies.
No.
We're in our 30s. We all know what it looks like, and we all know that all the women dropped just a little bit more than they did then. Just a little droopier than it was before. Same thing goes for
some areas a little more plumper than others, but
and same thing goes for our balls. Like our balls are just like just like Laffy Taffy at that point, just like dripping down to our knees until you get into the water and everything goes.
Yeah,
I was in the pool. I was in the pool. I was in the pool.
I can relate so hard. Oh my god! Because I do. I get major shrinkage.
Everyone does.
I know, but it's just
cold water.
I don't know.
It's cold water.
Anyway, so that was a good time, and other than that, I don't know. I feel like I'm leaving. I'm leaving for Mexico, and I'm excited and so fucking nervous because of all the political shenanigans going on right now in Mexico and U.S. I feel like something's going to happen.
Well, so, I mean, you are going to be in Mexico.
My sister's getting married in Mexico. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. A whole bunch of people, 80 people, go into a destination wedding. It's a lot. So my first time out of the country, believe it or not.
She packed my bags last night. Pre-flight, 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm going to be high as a kite by then. Anyway.
God, I love that song.
Anytime you get on a plane, that's like I want to make because we're going to be flying in a couple of months. I want to make like a good plane mix. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
Like Rocketman, 2001 Space Oddity.
I have a nice mix. Like I downloaded four movies, so I'm good with that. And then I got some certain kind of songs I like, which is usually on the tarmac before we we take off. And then I like podcast. I saved some podcasts, like 4 shows that I didn't listen to yet, and I'll be good because it's 4 hours down, 4 hours back. So that's 8 hours.
Speaking of podcasts, there's something I wanted to mention. For our episode where we reviewed Brightburn and John Wick Chapter 3, episode 152, and kind of like Movie Cocktail, they both kind of came out right around the same time. We had our highest single day download numbers. Whoa. Which is amazing. So there's a lot of new listeners out there. So what's up? I'm so happy to have new listeners here. And I also just want to say you got to pull your weight now. Now you're part of the family. So we're going to need you all to go on to iTunes. You're going to have to leave a 5-star review. You're going to have to write something nice about us because that's how we grow. That's how we get found. But anyway, no, just welcome everybody who is a new listener listening to Super Movie Bros.
And reach out to us. You know, we love to hear from you and talk about whatever you want to talk about. and this is, fun for Dave and I, and hopefully fun for you to listen to. And we love doing this, and keep on listening.
Nah, people listen to us because it's a fucking chore. You know what I mean? It's just like, before I get to work, I just got to get through Super Movie Bros. Yeah. It's like I don't even like these guys anymore. Like it's the same shtick every week. Dave
just keeps coming on my fucking phone, and I just keep hitting play. I don't know.
Dave's like, Seth Rogen laugh. Just starts getting on my nerves.
Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves on this fucking show.
Via con Diaz.
Whoa. Whoa.
Anyway, so is that it? Is that all you did this week?
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't really do a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like other than my Memorial Day party, I just
want to get into the show, man. I'm excited. This is a fun episode for us. We love talking about trailers and movie reviews, and it's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah, because it's kind of like the only thing the show's really about.
But we have a lot to talk about, so
I do want to tell a story, and this is a story that I don't know, man. It just fucking made me cry. Like legit made me cry. So I was dropping my daughter off to school, and she always, every time I drop her off.
Do you feel like you get more emotional as you get older?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
100%.
Because I've been crying a lot.
I specifically didn't watch
with tears over the last few months, and I don't know what's going on with me. 35 has been a very emotional year so far.
I remember that movie. I cry at dog movies a lot, and I watched that movie like A Dog's Journey like 2 years ago. And now they have the sequel out. I specifically didn't watch the sequel to review because I know I would, even though that movie probably sucks. It probably sucks, just like A Dog's Journey sucked. I would 100% cry on air. Like I would probably start crying on air, just even thinking about the dogs dying in the movie and stuff like that. So, yes, I do cry more. But I think also having a daughter and having a kid has made me like,
I'm sure it does.
Softer.
Absolutely.
So I dropped her off to school. She usually cries and carries on every time I drop her off at school, and I've always known why she cries. She's 5 now. I know it's because I'm leaving. I know it's because like she's not going to see me for a little while and stuff like that. And I know that's the reason. However, it's with kids, they're not always as good as you and I are or as adults are about expressing their emotions. But she was crying and carrying on. So I'm down on my knee and I'm looking at her in the eye and I'm just like telling her, I was like, you have to take a deep breath. You got to calm down. You don't want to cry in front of your friends. None of the other kids cry when they get dropped off. However, they're not getting dropped off by a parent that they're not going to see for another week,
Right.
So I'm just explaining to her that she just needs to get composure of herself, and she starts losing it more because I go to get up and I was like, why are you crying so much? And she's like, because I'm gonna miss you, you idiot. And she starts like crying. She called me an idiot, and then I started crying, and then the teacher's like, we really got to break this up. And I was like, you go to hell. I'm having a moment with my daughter.
Dave, give it 5 years. She's not even going to talk to you and slam the door in your face.
So I'm trying to cherish this moment, right? I'm trying to cherish this moment, and the teacher's just like you're distracting my class, and I was just like, I don't care.
And I know your evil eye.
Yeah, like I shot it to her like real quick, and it's like I know that we don't talk to the school about like what our personal business is, like why I see my daughter like every so often and stuff like that, and I don't think I really have ever explained them on the show very much either. But
I don't think so.
But I mean, there's a reason why. But anyway, it's not court ordered either.
Yeah. When you were saying that, I was like, well, no, this is mutual.
This was a supervised visit. The sheriff was right behind me.
Dave's a good boy. He's a very good father.
But
beautiful daughter. She's great.
It just made me like well up with tears, man. And I was like, fuck. God damn it. I'm a big old softy.
And well, look, she's fucking adorable, man. I love Logan too. She's great. And I don't see her enough. I feel like I keep saying I got to come over more often when she's on your weekends.
She spent all weekend having me do her makeup, and then because it's hot out, she wears like nightgowns now, but they're kind of like little dresses and stuff like that. Yeah. And she likes them because they're like
still tutus or not?
No, she's not into those anymore. But she likes these like nightgown dresses because they're slightly form-fitting. But one of the things that always cracks me up is when she catches a glimpse of herself in a reflection or her shadow or a mirror. she immediately starts posing for herself and starts like looking at herself. And
here we go.
I caught her doing it and I took a video of it. And like she is like jumping up and down on the bed, like putting her butt out and turning around so that she could see it.
No.
And then she starts smacking her own butt.
Oh God.
And then she like saw me videotaping and she goes, "Are you going to show Lauren?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do it. Show Lauren." I was like, okay.
So scandalous. My goodness.
At 5 years old. All right, man. Let's head over. Let's start getting into these trailer parks. I think the first trailer park we're going to start off with is Terminator. What is it? Dark Fate?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's Terminator something or other. Terminator 8, 9. Like no one even knows anymore. Like where's the continuity? It's
Sarah Connors is back.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's
I was
back.
right. It's Dark Fate. Look at that. Oh man, let's go check out what Linda Hamilton's up to at 80.
Welcome back to Trailer Park.
It's the hardest trailer park I've ever done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's time to get into that trailer park. What you gonna do when it comes running down on you? The trailer park.
Anyway. Time to see you, Nucci. Hit that beat, brother.
Let Poetics explain.
Poetics, bring the drums in.
Cut the beat and let the music play. No trailer park, shout out to Dave and Jay. I don't serve, but it's a newer wave. We've been on since streets, God save the right stop. I don't wanna flow until I know that the bass drop.
All right, so the first trailer that we got up for bid, Jay. It's going to try to get our attention. It's going to try to get our asses in the seats. They even brought back the old cast of T2 in an attempt to get us in the theater. It's Terminator Dark Fate.
2 days ago, I had this nice, simple life. And now it's a nightmare.
If travel is searching,
That's right. That was 20th Century Fox. That means this is a Disney movie now.
home has been found.
So melodramatic, this music with all
I'm
this
not stopping.
I bet you Linda Hamilton eats her yogurt with probiotics in it.
something.
Who are you?
She's taking that actor juice.
She's on she's on human growth hormone.
She's probably
Never seen one like you before. Almost human.
I am human. How do we win? We win by keeping you alive.
Not gonna lie, that's the coolest part of the trailer right there.
I know. I agree.
So Jay, you're asking how has he not aged? How has he aged, the Terminator? They actually explain that in Terminator Genesis, but there also is that's okay. No one needs to torture themselves like that. I would rather cut off one testicle than watch Terminator Genesis ever again. No, but what they did in Terminator Genesis was like they kind of explained that the human exoskin that sits on top of the Terminator's body can age.
Okay.
So that's they kind of explain it that way. However, I don't think that's the case in this movie. I think that he is actually the prototype of He is who they modeled the skin after. This is like the soldier that they used to model the skin after. So he's not actually a Terminator in this movie. He is playing he is playing that guy who the Terminator's skin was modeled after.
Okay, that would make more sense because I can't see Arnie doing any kind of real stunt work.
It would. And here's the thing. The reason I say that is because I think that if he was a Terminator, they would 100% have that scene where he like gets hit and
Something
turns around,
right,
and the red eye is going.
He's obviously like tucked away in a cabin. You know, he seems like he's recluse.
Right.
We found him, so he's...
Instead, our Terminators this time around are Mackenzie Davis, who is playing Grace. And she's
new prototype of some sort that we don't know of yet.
It's kind of reminding me what she is. It's kind of reminding me of what Sam Worthington was in Terminator Salvation, where he's kind of like this part human, part Terminator,
Right.
where it still has a Terminator. It still has a human brain, a human heart, some organs and stuff like that, but there's Terminator stuff, so it's more of like a cyborg than it is an android. And then we also have Brett Azar, who is playing the T-800, and then we also have Gabriel Luna, who is playing Terminator. That's all they call him. They call him Terminator in this. And I gotta say, man, Gabriel Luna, I have enjoyed him in some things, but here I don't find him imposing whatsoever. Like when I saw him in this, and they do that thing where like he jumps out of the truck and he goes to throw that rebar like a spear. It's so CGI that like it takes me out of it. I just saw
it's like perfectly tucked into his pants, and it's just so weird looking.
It's like I just saw what that motherfucker looked like 5 seconds ago. Now you want me to buy him as a computer generated image. And what I would prefer it to be was, I know you were saying like you just tell this is all on wires. Fuck. Yes, more wires. Do as much practical as you fucking can at all times, always. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah, but there's ways you can
30-70 balance. There's the 30-70 balance. 30% CGI, 70% practical. Anytime you can practically do it. And I mean, what I'm also not understanding is, so the human skin on the outside is separate from the exoskeleton. The human skin on the outside is very much like the T-1000 from T2. It's liquid metal. It can come off and it can separate itself from the exoskeleton of a Terminator. And then he can basically attack you on two fronts that way. And while that idea I think is very cool, I also don't feel like we need a new type of Terminator every fucking time. Like, why do we need a new Terminator every time? Like, the T-1000 was pretty fucking scary. It was pretty fucking hard to kill.
It's just more setup, more explanation, and more waste of time exposition, you know?
But, like, if you just sent back, you know, T-800s, T-1000s,
But I mean, you can have like the girl's character playing that kind of cyborg type. That's fine. I get that, right? She's made to combat the Terminators. Terminators should still be the Terminators.
I know.
Right? I mean, that's my kind of thing.
I don't know why it bothers me, but like the first time I saw T3, which is a fucking terrible movie. The first time I saw T3, I was like, all right, so she's basically this. She's liquid metal outside with hard skeleton on the inside. She doesn't seem to have full range of powers like this one did. But at that time I was like, okay, so you just took the best of both worlds and then added that to even then when I was a young man, like that bothered me. And it's bothering me here. I know that this is taking place. This is the sequel to T2. There is no anything else.
Yes.
Forget Terminator 3. That's been stricken from the record. Yeah. Terminator Salvation, Terminator
James
Genesis.
Cameron, they made a public announcement saying that all the other Terminators besides Cameron's, T1, T2, doesn't count.
They don't count anymore.
It's now...
Just consider them alternate universe,
T2,
alternate timeline.
Exactly. It goes to this one. So,
hot take. I like Terminator Salvation probably more than I'm going to like this movie. I'm dead serious. Like... I like the idea of Terminator Salvation.
This trailer was really weird, and I could not get on board with it.
And then you were saying like, why do they have to have this shot with the plane? I was like, well, do you remember when the T-1000 jumped on the car and he was like digging in with his hooks and stuff, and that was menacing and terrifying, and like how fast is this motherfucker? Like, what can this guy not do? Well, he can do this. Like that, they're going to show you something more that a Terminator can do to be more frightening.
James Cameron. We can put this in the budget.
Yeah.
Let's get plane on plane with the Terminators in the sky.
I fully think that
come on,
that James Cameron was
so unnecessary.
I'm not going to say paid off to put his to like come back to the series and be a producer on it.
Something happened.
I think he might have been promised something that he wants.
Something
if he just put his name on it.
Some kind of Avatar thing. I don't know. Who knows?
And like I'm not fearful.
I don't think you can be really that excited for this.
I don't fear Gabriel Luna's character at all. Like when I look at him, I like.
It doesn't even. But not even that. It just doesn't even look interesting.
Yeah,
that's the worst part. Like I don't. If he was actually more interesting and more cooler looking, or something about it. Even the stunts weren't even that great or effective.
We got to end our discussion on this trailer, but 2 more hot takes.
Sure.
1, the way to defeat Gabriel Luna, you let Trump put up his wall. Done. I'm sorry, I don't support that politically, but that's how this movie ends, right?
Probably.
Trump puts up the wall, and Linda Hamilton's just like, done. She's clearly an NRA card carrying Republican.
Border control ever since. Yeah,
yeah. She's clearly a Republican in this movie.
Yeah.
And the other hot take I have is Arnold looks better in this trailer than Stallone looks in Rambo: Last Blood.
I agree.
There was a time where like it looked like Stallone was holding himself up better than Arnold, and then like now.
Well, facial hair can cover up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Arnie, they showed him for about 2 seconds, Dave.
I know. I mean, he looked like God. He was the worst part of Terminator Genesis. Like there was a lot of bad parts.
I could not bring myself to watch that movie, dude. That trailer was worse than this trailer. It was so bad.
But speaking of Rambo, Jay, let's head over.
All right.
Let's dive into it. Rambo: Last Blood.
I've lived in a world of death. I've watched people I've loved die. Some fast with a bullet. Some not enough left to bury.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
All these years I've kept my secrets. But the time has come to face my past. And if it comes looking for me, they will welcome death.
All right, man.
It's like they're trying to do a Logan thing or something. I don't know.
And when you said that,
Western-esque.
When you said that after the first time we watched that trailer, I was like, yeah, Jay just nailed it. Like that, they're trying to do something that is akin to that,
right?
Where it's
something in that wheelhouse.
The aging heroes, last stand.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Rambo as a character on screen since 2008, where he was kind of in Burma, Myanmar, and he was, rescuing a bunch of Christian aid workers, and it was kind of like that was kind of like the Beast Unleashed, right? Like the sleeping giant. The warrior had gone dormant and stuff like that, and he was just making his living there. And they kind of awokened like this killer in him. They brought him. It brought back his humanity, pretty much like that movie. And in that movie, he returns in the end to Arizona, I believe is where it was, where his family farm was, where he left all those years ago when he went off and joined the service. And what I don't understand in this trailer is he says like he wants revenge and he's going to kill them all, and they want revenge on him. And I just the whole time I'm going, who?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Like it says, the synopsis says Rambo must confront his past and underneath his ruthless combat skills to exact revenge in a final mission, a deadly journey of vengeance. Rambo: Last Blood will be the last chapter of the legendary series. First off, calling it legendary series, that's going a little far. There was a really good movie in there once.
Look,
Rambo: First Blood.
This movie's going
fantastic.
towards his grandkids' college tuition. Okay, I mean,
pretty much. No, his daughters. His youngest daughter's only like 16 or something like that. So like his kids aren't even like some of his kids aren't even old enough to probably even get into this movie. Like
probably
this dude's still doing it. But
parts of this movie makes me like I can get behind it, and then there's a lot of it that just doesn't make any sense, and it could just be complete silly. Typical garbage stuff, like
so here's
unnecessary fluff violence.
So like here's the thing, like This motherfucker was born in 1946.
Or maybe not fluff violence, but
this dude was born the year after World War II ended. He's 73 years old.
73 years young.
He's 73 years young. Well, that's all, again, just like Linda Hamilton. That's all the human growth hormone he's been taking.
Seriously.
But I just don't buy this anymore. I don't buy this old man killer thing. It worked 10 years ago with Expendables, right? Where like he was in his 60s, he could pass for somewhere in his 50s, and you believe he's still imposing and he's still got it. You know, I don't buy it now when I'm watching this, you know, and honestly, the only realistic ending to this movie is Rambo goes to meet his foes head on after he sets all of his Home Alone traps and stuff like that. And one of them hits him hard and he goes, "Oh God, my back, my back."
No, you know what it is?
And then they just kill him.
It's going to be, he kills everybody. He's all beaten up. He slowly walks out into his field towards the sunset and just drops off.
Drops dead. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
If this movie doesn't end in Rambo's death, I'll be severely upset. I'll be severely upset. I just like, but I don't buy it, you old bastard. Like, just stop. It works when you're in Creed because you're the old legend, you know, the man passing on his knowledge.
There's got to be other roles out there. I mean, I don't know, but he obviously he loves action. He loves action movies. He's directed a fuckload of them.
I'll be honest, I'm not following the press on this at all, and maybe he has said this.
I haven't heard any press about this.
I would go see this if he did like the Liam Neeson thing that Liam Neeson did like 5 years ago, where he's like, "I'm retiring from action movies," and like if Stallone was like
Commuter,
if Stallone was just like, "I don't think I can do it no more." This is gonna be my last go around. This is gonna be the last action movie I'll do. Well, yeah. If he were to say that, if he were to come out and be like, this is the last time that I'm ever gonna do an action movie, I'd be like, all right, I'm on board because I'm gonna watch you go out. I'll watch you go out.
I would like to hear that.
Yeah.
Then I probably would be a little bit more excited to go and see this, to be honest.
Yeah, because
seriously, I mean,
and if he said that, I hope you bow out gracefully, Balboa.
Sure.
Like, I hope you do. Well, also, it's this movie is a Balboa production. Did you notice that? That it's a Balboa production, so it's his own production company as well that's making it. But yeah, if Stallone were to say that this is the end, I get it. I'm down with it. Say goodbye. I'll say goodbye to you. You will go off and you'll continue doing your little paintings that you do and whatever else that you do in Hollywood. Maybe he's got one last good script.
There's an Expendables 4 on the horizon.
They're probably.
And there's another thing out there called Hunter. It's like an action thriller. It's supposed to be in development. And Escape Plan, The Extractors, is in post-production, but with no release date.
Right.
That's utter trash.
So, and also again for Rambo,
he's not quite done yet.
For Rambo: Last Blood, he also wrote the screenplay for it. And we do know that Stallone can write screenplays. Like he did write the Best Picture winner of 1976, Rocky. Like he wrote that. I don't know who else helped him. I don't know who helped him with it, but like he did write that, and like
this comes out at the end of September. I mean, if they come out with a nice another follow-up trailer that might get me excited, I don't know. Maybe I will see it. I don't know.
You remember in Rocky Balboa, the sixth Rocky film, where they said like, you know, a puncher always has a chance, right? Like I feel like someone who's written something decent at some point. He actually wrote First Blood as well. He had a hand in writing that as well. I feel like he has one more good script in him, and I want to see it. Like I want to see it, and I don't think this is it at all.
No, he's got more under his belt. I think he.
I gotta go out the way. I gotta go out.
Well.
Go out gracefully, you old Italian bastard, please.
I would like to see him just go out writing. He should just fade out, just fucking work out in your own little gym and write screenplays. Because I think he does have a little bit of a talent, and he could at least be a co-writer.
What do you think the calluses on his ass must be like after shooting steroids into his cheeks all these years? You think it's just like rhino hide on his ass cheeks from all
Probably.
this? Probably. All right, Jake.
Between that and his, his His sun tanning bed, he's probably in every single day. He's always fucking tan.
Oh my God. How many melanoma tumors have been removed from his body? You gotta wonder.
I can't believe he's alive.
73 years old.
It's almost more amazing than Keith Richards.
73 years old.
Still alive.
All right. Let's get on to our next trailer. One that I think I can say we both enjoy a little bit more. We're a little less apprehensive about, me more so than you. It's the Pixar's Onward trailer.
Come, dear brother, our destiny awaits.
Okay, I'm coming.
I see you've brought sustenance for our adventure.
No, it's garbage for the trash can, and you left the lid off. Oh, shoot! Get out of here! Shoot! Get out! Ugh, unicorns.
We're going on a grand and glorious quest.
It's not a quest. It's just a really fast and strange errand.
It's totally a quest.
All right, so I got to be honest. I am loving Chris Pratt's voice in this.
See, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's a little too over the top.
I'm digging it.
I think for the whole movie, listening to that it might be a little too much, a little too annoying.
See, I find Tom Holland's voice annoying, where he's just
no, honestly, both of them.
Yeah,
for me, it's both of them. I love the visual aspect of it. I like the scope and interesting little details that they have because of, like we were talking about before. It has that bright movie from that Will Smith movie.
Yeah,
and
2 years ago, Netflix came out with Bright, which was
it's like an alternate universe of some sort, right?
It's a fantasy world brought to a modern time. Like, what would orcs be like if they lived in 2016 when that movie came out? That's exactly what they're doing here. Like, what would goblins or elves and all this stuff from fantasy realms,
all kinds of things.
What would a fantasy world look like if it was in the modern times?
And I like that.
I love that premise.
I like that a lot.
I love the fact that
visually it looks fantastic.
Like, Lauren was cracking up that unicorns are like these like vermin. They're these pests.
They're like the squirrels.
Yeah, they're fucking squirrels in this world. It's just like, ever since the unicorn population boom of 76, we haven't been able to get rid of them. Yeah. And that's the little attention to detail and the little fun things that crack me up. Like in the one scene, a garden gnome comes out of the house and there's a garden gnome in front of his house and he goes, "Get back to work." And the garden gnome jumps up and starts mowing the lawn. And I was like, that makes sense. Garden gnomes would be the landscapers of this modern fantasy world with lawnmowers and shit like that. Yeah, that makes sense. And I just like the little things like that. I think it looks adorable, and I think my daughter's gonna love it. And
I think there's a lot of little details in there that makes it visually arresting. And you're right. I think there's enough adult content and also kid content that's going to make it a lot more enjoyable. I think the voices are going to play more towards for the kids, though.
Yeah, and this is the beginning of Pixar's. Like they said, after Toy Story 4, sequels are done. It's all new shit from here. Yeah, it's all new stuff.
So they're completely done with sequels
for now.
Of all
their foreseeable future is going to be new IPs. So.
Wow, thank fuck.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about time.
All the stuff about Toy Story 4, some of the new trailers and stuff, I'm kind of sold on it. I'm okay going back, but I think the majority of the reason why I'm cool going back is because I'm super excited to take my daughter to the theaters to see Toy Story 4 because she loves Toy Story so much and she just discovered that this year. So it's like, if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't be okay with this Toy Story coming out unless the message is right, unless the message feels right to me when I go see it.
And you know what else is great too?
Toy Story 3's message was so fucking
animation
on point.
holds up.
It does.
For the most part.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, pretty well, especially when it's done well. So, they've done pretty good for themselves so far. And
Pixar has let me down really once, just once. I did not like The Good Dinosaur. That's the only movie I haven't liked. I was so on Finding Nemo 2, and that's, other than that, that's really it. I still enjoyed those movies, with the exception of Good Dinosaur. I really don't like that movie at all. Pixar's never really let me down too much.
Are you a Cars fan?
No, but I do. It's weird. I don't,
because I never heard you talk about Cars.
I don't like Cars, but I get Cars. I get why Cars exists, and I get the humor in Cars, and I get the idea behind it. Cars just sold fucking toys, man. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
it sold toys, so they pumped out 3 of them. And they're done with them though, and I'm fine with that. But no, I'm not a huge Cars fan either. But I've seen all 3 Cars. I don't hate watching them. Like, I don't think they're bad movies.
But you're not going out of your way to watch.
But I'm not going out of my way to watch them. Like, I'll watch Finding Nemo anytime my daughter wants to put it on and stuff like that. And man, I gotta say, Coco, like, just makes, like, even in this trailer they show you, from the creators of Coco and stuff like. I even well up just seeing the name Coco, because I just think of "Remember Me When You Have to Say Goodbye, Remember Me," which is a song that, like, I sing to my daughter and stuff like that. So I'm fully fucking on board for this shit. I can't wait for it. RJ, we got one more trailer. This trailer is far more up your alley. This, I gotta think, like, out of the 3 movies we've talked about so far, you can give 2 shits about these movies that we've talked about so far. It's really all about this next one.
Oh yes.
I'm Rick Dalton. It's my pleasure, Mr. Schwartz.
Call me Marvin. Put it there.
Oh, no, it's my stunt double.
Put it there. Last night, we
shoot him up and slap her ass.
Double feature. All the shooting. I love that stuff, with the killing.
A lot of killing.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut? From you Nazi bastards!
Line.
Cut! Embarrass yourself like that in front of all those goddamn people!
All right, what's the matter, partner? It's official, old buddy. I'm a has-been.
August night and the leaves hanging down and the grass on the ground.
Here I am, flat on my ass. And who I got living next door to me?
I'm Sharon Tate. I'm in the movie.
In this town, that can all change like that. Hey! You're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.
Ah, man, I gotta say, like, the 2 things I am most excited about here. Seeing Stuntman Mike, maybe.
Maybe
it's Stuntman Mike. Maybe seeing that.
That'd be cool.
Even though Death Proof did not take place in the 1960s like this does. So, and it's
no, but I'm sure he was a stuntman back then.
No, but he wouldn't be that age. And it's also this, like,
this is a slight fantasy movie. Like,
it is.
I mean, a la Inglourious Bastards. Obviously, you got Hitler involved. Obviously, those events in that movie did not happen in real life. I think this is going to be the case for this movie as well. Actually, I'm kind of heard already confirmed that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, take it as it is. The Manson saga is partially involved into this movie, but it's not the main story of the movie. It's definitely following Leonardo DiCaprio's fading movie star career and his, best friend stunt double,
and
played by Brad Pitt. He's also tied in sort of with the Manson clan a little bit, but also helping out his buddy who's down on his luck and kind of going through the process in 1969 LA. I mean, it's a fucking visual treat, and obviously, Quentin knows how to write some zingers and some movies.
So Timothy Oliphant's in it. Looking forward to that, as well as possibly Stuntman Mike, and even though his name's Randy in the film, so he can't be Stuntman Mike. I want to direct you in a picture.
It's perfect casting. Perfect casting.
He feels like a 60s director.
Definitely. He's like a producer or whatever he is.
You're a star. I loved all the guns. Yeah. But no, it also gets me excited when I was seeing this and I see Leonardo DiCaprio's character in a role where he plays a guy who kills a room of Nazis, and I was like, Inglourious Bastards. Please let Inglourious Bastards be a movie that was directed by the Al Pacino, in this universe. I would watching this, and I know we talked about this before when we did our first trailer park for it, that You said that I might be thinking a little bit too far ahead. I would love if this winds up tying together like a lot of the Quentin Tarantino universe. Like
he can get away with it.
He could. Like if
honestly, I think the way this movie had the tone of it, they could easily do it.
And I fully expect that they wouldn't do it in some overt way. Either a character would mention that
super minor
that they were in Inglourious Bastards, or we would see an Inglourious Bastards poster behind like the direct. You know how directors had in their office, they have all their movie posters on the wall and stuff. We would see Inglourious Bastards as one of the posters and stuff like that. And that's it. That's the like I would never expect Quentin Tarantino to be overt with it, but I could.
And like Kurt Russell would only just say, you know, his name's Mike. That's it. And that's it. Like they wouldn't go into anything more than that.
Right. Or
something like on those lines.
Or Brad Pitt mentions that he was the stunt double for Brad Pitt's character in Inglourious Bastards. He played Lieutenant Aldo Rain's stunt double. Just a little thing like that.
It's true. It's true.
As a Tarantino fan, I would geek out over that. Like that would be one of those things like when if you heard it or you saw it in the theater, you go like you just do that
I know I would. I would too. And honestly, you know, it's always in a fun event movie when Quentin has something coming out, obviously. And, you know, the ladies, I know Margot, you know, Robbie, I love her. She's gorgeous.
A lot of hubbub over this. She has 6 lines in the movie.
Right. But it makes sense to me. I don't understand the whole hubbub about it because it's not her story. This is not what this movie's about. I mean, she is more of a mythical creature.
Here's what it is. She's all over the marketing.
Well,
because she's hot. Like and I don't mean hot like she's like good looking or anything. What I mean is like she's hot as an actress. Like she's a big name.
Sure.
He still has to sell it. He still has to sell his movie just like anyone else would. So I think that's what it is. I think her prominence in it and the fact that people are finding out she has like 6 lines in the movie and stuff like that is and to be fair, 6 lines for Tarantino could be like 10 minutes of screen time. So.
No. Well, that's the thing. It's like most of it, a lot of the time, it's her not talking. Like it's just she's on screen, but she's doing something else. You know, like it's kind of the myth of her. You know, she's the presence, this inspiration, because she's the rising star, and Leo is the fading star in the movie. Right. You know, so and then also I want to give a little shout out to I think her name is Margaret Qualley. She's the young, kind of in the Manson clan. She is a very. I've seen her in a couple little things, and she's a very talented little actress. And she had a small role in The Nice Guys, for example, but she also played this figure in a Spike Jonze music video. It was the most batshit crazy awesome music video ever, and I think she's got a lot of talent, so I'm kind of excited to see what she does with this movie as well, but just wanted to throw it out there.
All right, fair enough. She plays Pussycat in the film.
Pussycat.
And for those of you who are not aware of this, but you may be big Karate Kid or Cobra Kai fans, Martin Kove is in this movie, man. Martin Kove from of Karate Kid fame, man.
Damn. Bring it.
He played Kreese in the Karate Kid and Karate Kid 3 and in Cobra Kai. So definitely, like I don't know why. Like,
and we got Brad Pitt shirtless. Come on.
Like my wife was like, "How old is he?" And I was like, "Pushing 50 or over it." at this point, and she goes, "Wow." I was like, how does he still draw it? Like, how does he still, I don't even mean like the way he looks. Like, it's just something about Brad Pitt still draws people in.
Like, I get, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like, I sort of get it, but I don't overly get it. Like, Brad Pitt, like, I think he's like a very sexy guy, but like, he's not like what I would go for if I went that way.
I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know. But if you're in, you know, I don't know.
As a hetero man who skews slightly higher on the Kinsey scale, when I watch World War Z, which is not a great movie, he's the reason. He's the reason I watch it. He is good in that movie. Like Brad Pitt
is a good actor. And
he's good in it.
I think people are realizing that,
and he can still get it. And like he can still get it. Like.
I see. For me, I think a lot of the time it's not. He's a good actor, but it's more when I'm watching him in press conferences or interviews.
Yeah,
he's just very laid back and
he's
confident.
A charismatic motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. I think that's what I like about it. I think he's just like be a cool buddy. You know,
could you picture him and just McConaughey having like a chill off?
I want to be in that circle.
In the center of that?
No, in your...
Just getting it rained down on you. Just like both of them finishing on you. Just Jay on his knees.
After a bottle of bourbon, perhaps. No, we'll be in the backyard of your house. We'll have a bonfire. We'll shoot the shit. And,
all right.
It'll be a good time. Let the good times roll.
Let the good times roll. Oh, man. So anyway, we can't even talk about what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is about, because even though this is a 2-minute long trailer for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's almost a full minute longer than their teaser trailer, it gave you nothing. The only thing you know is that he's a fading star. You didn't know that before, and other than that,
that's it. I don't want to see any more either.
I know,
and I don't think we will, to be honest.
But
actually, it comes out soon anyway. It's in July, so
this is how you do trailers and stuff. This is how you cut trailers. How Pixar was doing Onward. You introduce them to the world and you kind of show them your characters a little bit and you give them nothing of the story. That's what Onward did. That's what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's doing. You know, when you watch a lot of trailers today, they like, especially comedies, it's like by the time I go in there, I don't laugh half the time in a comedy because I saw all the jokes already in the trailer.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with superhero movies, especially, you know, with us doing this show, I pick those apart and I figure shit out before I even get in there. And they can hide all they want about stories with those, but they still wind up showing too much a lot of the time. This is how you do it, man. There's not a lot being shown here. And maybe that's because it's an original IP. So there's not a lot to pick apart. You don't know the world or anything like that. But you know, I gotta say, like, I'm kind of bored with trailers like these days. Like a lot of trailers, like I'm not even interested in anymore because
we are very quick to either be hot on something or cold on something.
It's true.
There's not much in between anymore.
Speaking of which, let's head over and let's get into the rest of our 5-minute-ish reviews, because there's a film that in there that I didn't like any trailer for. I wasn't so hot on the original film that came out in 2014, and that, so like all the marketing, like none of it hit me, but for some reason I still went to the theaters and I still saw this movie this week so that I could do a review for it and I would give it its fair shake. So let's get into our 5-minute-ish reviews. Welcome back to the beer segment. Me and Jay got 2 beers that we're going to be reviewing for you. But before we do that, we got to drop a line to our sponsor, Blowfish. Blowfish, it's the only FDA-approved hangover cure. 2 tablets, drop it 8 to 12 ounces of water. Drink it down. Your hangover starts to feel better. So if you spent the entire weekend laying the smackdown on all your friends while slugging down some beer and some ridiculous backyard games, and you got to declare yourself the champion, but you woke up with a little bit of a hangover and you just can't deal with the Sunday morning blues, then you're going to want to reach out and grab yourself some of that Blowfish. So if you would like to cure your hangovers for good, head over to forhangovers.com, use the promo code SMBFish and get your 15% off. Super Movie Bros is also brought to you by the Podcoin app. It's the only app where you can earn a little bit for all your hardcore podcast listening. Make sure that you download the Podcoin app on iOS or Android. Every episode that you listen to, every minute that you put into listening to podcasts goes right into your Podcoin bank, and you can redeem those coins for gifts. So make sure that you download the Podcoin app. All right, Jay, we got an indie pod spotlight that we got to get through. This one comes from the Analog Legends podcasting network, and this is Bad Trekking.
Your Honor, a courtroom is a crucible. In it we burn away irrelevancies until we are left with a pure product, the truth, for all time.
Oh man, this is so intense. Data's on trial for his life.
I know. This episode, The Measure of a Man, is based on the Supreme Court's Dred Scott decision of 1857.
And every week on Backtracking, we take a look at the real-world events that inspired classic Star Trek episodes. Sorry.
Shut up! Who are you?
We're the hosts of Backtracking. I'm Caliban.
You will both be taken to the brig and from there to the nearest starbase, where you will answer charges for what you have done.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
This is not a game. This is life and death.
You can follow us on Twitter.
Backtracking is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
You go f*** yourself.
I just love the way that ends. You go fuck your shit.
Yes.
It's just so good.
Trekkies unite.
Yes.
And give them a listen. Yeah.
So I like this idea because, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I like the idea of going back and looking at Star Trek and not just geeking out over Star Trek, like, because I can get geeking out over shit. I like the idea that they're going back and they're talking about, like, historical events, like, in our world that are being echoed inside of Star Trek episodes. I think that's a unique way to go back and look at something.
It's more of a dialogue that you can have.
Absolutely.
That's a little bit more interesting that ties in with certain
right.
things,
Instead of playing the member berries game where you're like, remember when this happened in this episode?
Nah, it's a good idea. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I like that idea. So make sure that you check out Backtrekking Podcast. You can find them on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. All right, Jay, we got 2 beers that we got to review before we head over and we get into like our ridiculously massive review segment. We got so many movies that we got to review.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to charge up
through them.
We got to charge up with some of these beers because we got 2 weeks of movies to review. So what beer are you drinking for everybody?
I have Henniker Brewing Company's Hopslinger IPA, 7%. Now, this one's a little misleading because the can is very simple.
It is.
It's very... and it has a hop on the can, and I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a hoppy, piney kind of IPA.
So I don't even know where to come at with the name Hopslinger because it's one of 2 things. It's a gunslinger that hops along, like he comes out like skipping and he shoots a guy while he's skipping. Maybe like
I mean, it's kind of a cool name.
Maybe like a gay gunfighter, you know, like he just skips out, true-loo-loo-loo, bang, you're dead, and he skips on back. Or it's just another word for a cum shot. Where you're just like when you have real bitter cum, it's like, how is my hop slinger? Because sometimes guys
this is why us as super movie bros like to drink our pineapple juice.
That's right. Yeah. Because sometimes it gets a little bitter, a little salty, a little bit of a tang at the end.
But this is actually misleading, and it is a unfiltered, pretty juicy Pacific Northwest kind of style IPA, and
it is a cum shot.
Yeah. So it definitely has a lot of different kind of citrus notes to it. I'm getting some things that I'm not used to tasting. I can't quite figure that what it is. It's some kind of a peel. Some different kind of blends of juices in there that I haven't really experienced that before, but it's okay.
Just say it's tangerine peel. No one cares.
It might be actually tangerine.
Yeah, why not? Why
not? So actually mandarin orange peel, by the way.
I was close.
That's what it was. You were very close. No wonder it was something.
I could smell it from over here.
You don't see that very often, but overall, it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
All right, man. And I am drinking the IP Yay. Like, it's just super happy. I think they should have called this the Yippee Hoppe, instead of Yippee Ki-Yay, get a little Die Hard in there. But not everyone.
That's next summer's beer.
But not everyone can be movie geeks like me, I'm sure there's already a beer out there that's called the Yippee Hoppe.
Probably somewhere.
But anyway, this is an IPA that is 6.2% alcohol by volume. It comes from the Manayunk Brewing Company right here out Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And man, I gotta tell you, this thing is also super juicy. It does absolutely 100% have a huge citrus punch, like right in your fucking kisser. And it's got a nice bitter back end, but it's not too dry. It's pretty well balanced. I'm really enjoying it, dude. I'll be honest, like Manayunk, when they first came out, so on all their beers. Over the past 2 years though, they've been really stepping up their game with some of these beers, man. And I'm really finding myself enjoying them. I'm going to be giving this one like a 4. Like I want like 3 more of these. Like right now to drink. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, dude. It's just a little dry, but other than that, I'm digging it, dude. I'm digging it. I haven't had a proper IPA in quite some time. Like since like 2 weeks ago when we played backyard games. That's when I had my last IPA.
Good. I'll definitely keep that in mind, and I'll try and grab that next time.
All right, but that's enough talk about beer. These are 2 local beers, so I don't think anyone's going to really have a chance of getting them around here, unfortunately. Definitely not the Manayunk. They have a low distribution, but you might be able to find Hopslinger if you're in the northeast area, since they're out of New Hampshire and we're getting it down here in Philadelphia. So if you're a northeaster, you might be able to catch that one somewhere. So coming up next, me and Jay got a ton of reviews to get into. We got reviews for Booksmart, Aladdin, Rocketman, Godzilla, King of Monsters. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous how many reviews we're going to try to get through.
Always Be My Maybe.
And Always Be My Maybe. So 5 reviews in 5-minute-ish format. Let's see if we can.
Woo, baby. Let's get in it.
All right, Jay, let's start burning through these 5-minute-ish spoiler-free reviews. Spoiler-free-ish reviews. 5-minute-ish.
You know the drill, everybody. But we got some new listeners, so we got to warn you guys.
We're not gonna go through plot point by plot point,
Yes.
but I think might get spoiled here and there. Let's get started. First up, Always Be My Maybe, which is the Netflix original film that was dropped this past weekend.
I'm surprised you two lost touch. You used to be so close.
So, when's the big wedding day?
He wants to travel a bit before we settle down. It's really for the both of us.
I finally realized that I don't want to get married.
Are you kidding me? You're a piece of shit!
I can tell you're a little...
I hope you get malaria and shit yourself to death, you shitty piece of shit!
I guess I have to start dating again. Ugh, is there anything worse?
You and Marcus are so cute.
No.
Remind me why you never got together?
There's way too much history there. Oh.
Yeah.
We was one man for a moment in time.
You still have the Corolla?
What are you looking at? My backseat? Because we had sex back there?
Oh my god.
So what do you think?
That it might be even smaller and grosser than I remember.
Yeah, you better still be talking about my backseat.
All right, Always Be My Maybe is the story of a successful woman celebrity chef who returns to her hometown of San Francisco and meets up with, through happenstance, serendipitous, some would say, meets up with an old flame of hers while she is in the midst of going through some relationship issues of her own, and then they kind of have to rekindle their relationship in this hilarious comedy. I want to say
it's a classic romantic
hilarious
comedy.
Cultural comedy is how I should put it. So this movie stars Ali Wong and
Randall Park, who actually, what I found out through research, are good friends in real life and have known each other since college. Well, I think it shows because, you know, as the movie opens, you see that they actually grew up next to each other.
Right.
They were childhood friends, and
one's
they lost
Korean, one's Chinese.
You know, let's just say that happenstance as kids, they kind of parted ways for various reasons.
Look, you grow up next to each other. You're both reasonably not hideous. Things are going to happen at some point, and things do happen for these two.
So, but they moved on, and life happened, and they moved on, and they didn't keep in touch. And then sometimes people bump into each other. And thankfully they did, because that's when the movie finally kicked into gear for me more. The beginning was a little too rushed, a little too cliche per se, but I did like the cultural aspect of it all.
So I would say 100% for me, this was a truly solid, really good rom-com. And what makes it stand out from other rom-coms in the same way that Crazy Rich Asians did, it's the cultural aspect that gets brought to it. So it's not like it smacks you in the face with it or anything like that, but it's little cultural nods to Asian culture that us round eyes and whiteys may not know.
It's true,
but it does add depth to these two characters, and I absolutely love Ali Wong. Like, her two Netflix specials are absolutely hilarious. If you haven't watched those, she is funny as shit. And also Randall Park. I don't watch the show fresh off the boat, but the episodes that I have watched, I've enjoyed, and I think it's just really him that I enjoyed. My first introduction to him was in The Interview with Seth Rogen and James Franco, where he played Kim Jong-un. So. And I loved him there. So
they're both very talented, and I think they're going to have a good future ahead of them in their careers. I'm just, it was just it was good timing on their career, and I think it worked out really well for both of them.
And can we talk about the song that's gone a little bit viral that I truly love? I punched Keanu Reeves in the face. That song is written by Randall Park, who
my God.
in real life
I didn't know that was getting around though.
Was in a band very much like he was in a band very much like he was in the film in real life.
I believe it.
And Ali Wong, as a good friend of his, actually went to the bars that he would play at and support him.
Funny.
So even though they never had like a romantic relationship, some of the stuff that's in this film
because he's like weirdly talented.
It's autobiographical, right?
So that kind of makes sense that he actually did this in real life.
His speak rap is so good.
It's very good.
He speak raps in it, and I was like,
very good.
Can I buy their album? Like, can I just buy an album of theirs? Because that reminded me of like
soundtrack, baby.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
And there's a great delight and surprising cameo.
Well, I already said it. It's Keanu Reeves.
All right,
it's Keanu Reeves. How do you think he punches Keanu Reeves in the face?
I'm just I'm trying to keep.
And Jay, I'm sorry, that's not a cameo.
It's a bit of a spoiler.
Keanu Reeves is the entire second act of this film. Keanu Reeves is the second act of the
first
film.
half of the second half.
First half of the second. He's in it for a good 20 to 30 minutes.
He's great.
And he's
playing himself as an asshole, which is so not him. But it was a lot of fun to watch, and especially after 2 weeks after watching John Wick, Chapter 3, and it was fun. He I think nailed a lot of the comedic timing. It was good to see him in this kind of a role again. It made me reminded me a little bit of Something's Got to Give when he made that little cameo in that ensemble movie.
So here's what you got to know about this film. Whether you're gonna, it's on Netflix. You probably already have a Netflix subscription.
I'm sure you do.
Watch it on a date night or your Netflix and chill night. It's definitely worth it. It is truly funny, and it injects itself with far more heart than you would expect.
And it just feels fresh, and it goes by very quick. It's a great watch. It's certainly
I love the ending of this.
Certainly,
movie. Even though I called it, like
sure.
But I loved the ending of it. I thought it was
very fitting.
It was. And
very fitting.
I love these two together. Like, I love Randall Park together. And I love Ali Wong. Like, the only reason I watched the show American Housewife on ABC is because Ali Wong plays this very strange, rich, almost sociopathical type person in it, and she's hilarious in the role. And there's, I just love her as a presence. So I think everyone should give this a shot. Jay, do you got a score for Always Be My Baby?
Yeah, B+ for me. I really enjoyed it.
Right where I'm at, B+. Yeah,
and I thought it was extremely solid. I think I'm happy. I'm happy for Netflix, producing an actual good, solid romantic comedy.
Well, you know what it is? Rom-coms, they're not hard they're hard to master, but they're also hard to fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, it's all
about the writing and the chemistry of the leads.
It's true.
That's it. You don't need a good director.
It's true.
You really
that's
don't.
What it comes down to. Yeah,
that's the only two things.
There's no vision. I mean, I don't mean to disparage anyone who's been a director.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
There's not a lot of vision there. There's not a lot of spectacle. I should say.
But I think even a director should know a good rom-com. That's really what it's all about.
Just frame your shot well and make sure your two stars are framed well in it. Like,
it's all about the two stars and the chemistry and having some decent, writing involved. That's it.
Speaking of rom-coms, let's get into another somewhat. I mean, I want to say it's somewhat a rom-com.
Kind of, sort of.
Let's get into Booksmart. It's about a different type of relationship.
Coming of age.
Isn't it crazy that it's the last day of school? Are you kidding me, Samantha? Go talk to her. She's got a really cute smile. Amy, do you know how many girls are going to be up your vagina next year? Every time I come to visit you, you're going to be scissoring a different girl. Dude, scissoring is not a thing. We have to go to a party tonight. What? Nobody knows that we are fun. We didn't party because we wanted to focus on school and get into good colleges. And it worked. But the irresponsible people who partied also got into those colleges.
I'm incredible at hand jobs, but I also got a 1560 on the SATs.
We haven't done anything. We haven't broken any rules. Name one person whose life was so much better because they broke a couple of rules. Picasso. He broke art rules. Rosa Parks. Name another one. Susan B. Anthony. God damn it.
Picture this. I'm a bag of
All right, Booksmart. The synopsis for this: two girls who are overachievers who have spent their entire high school career striving to be the top of their class find out that everyone else who seemed like slackers and fucking idiots in their class are also getting into the same Ivy League schools and are going on to great things, have spent their high school careers having fun, partying, and having the good grades that they've worked so hard for. They both decide that they are going to go out, they're going to get a little strange, and they're going to do some drugs, and they're going to have a fantastic time the night before their graduation.
Yes.
And what it basically becomes is Superbad 2 with vaginas.
Pretty much.
It's Superbad.
I mean,
it's Superbad trans.
Yeah,
it's the trans
hate
version.
to make that cliche comparison. However, it's so noticeable. You have to just.
I want to say this though, like where Superbad, if Superbad were to come out in 2019, even you and I would look at that movie and we would be like, wow, what an archetypal comedy where boys make crude comments about girls and stuff like this. Like, this is the modern version of that. That movie was almost 10 years ago, Superbad. So, like, when you watch this,
that was the one thing that stood out most of all was how hip and fresh and up to date this movie is in the current climate. Mostly, obviously, in the city world and stuff like that.
Very
but
much so.
It's extremely up and current on the real social climate of today's day and age, and the way kids are and the way kids interact.
Well, I think it's
in a lot of ways, but it is heightened.
It's both, it's both an amplification of it and an oversimplification of it as well.
But it is extremely fun, extremely entertaining, and I think very original and fresh. And I was extremely engaged throughout the whole film, and this was pleasantly and surprisingly well directed by Olivia Wilde.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
my goodness,
first time director, Olivia Wilde.
Yes.
And I got to say, like, I'm fairly
she swung for the fences.
Impressed with it. To be a comedic director, you most of the time have to be a comedian. And I've seen interviews with her and stuff like that. I know she's a funny person.
Yeah.
Like I know she is a funny person.
She's with Jason Sudeikis for the last few years. They're a family.
So it's not her first thing she's ever directed though. She has directed a video short with the Red Hot Chili Peppers called Dark Necessities, and an Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros music video, No Love Like Yours.
Good stepping stones.
Yeah. A lot of directors got their starts doing music.
I think a lot
videos.
of actors, they always look over the shoulders of the directors and the cinematographers on set.
But Booksmart is, definitely her first feature. And I got to say that Caitlin Dever is absolutely fantastic. Like, I
absolutely
love Caitlin Dever.
But even more so for me, it's all about Beanie Feldstein.
See, I'm not as huge a fan of her. I like Caitlin Dever better. Like, I think
I know I'm the opposite.
I mean,
I loved them both, but I definitely was more on board with Beanie.
Caitlin Dever. I liked her role in this really
it was very fresh. You don't
really
see many characters like her.
Sitcom with Tim Allen called Last Man Standing.
Okay.
She played the youngest daughter in that. I never watched the show on my own. However, when I'm over my parents' house, a lot of times they've watched it, and I found myself not hating her moments in it. But then you gave me a movie homework called Short Term 12, where Caitlin Dever plays a very sour young lady going through some stuff. And man, that girl was just like, she was great in that movie. Like, she was fantastic in that movie. And I was like, oh shit, like this girl can, like, it's so strange that people can do the sitcom thing and then go do the drama thing, like, at the same time. So this film mixed both those worlds for her. It is very, very slapstick comedy. It is very situational humor and stuff like that. But at the same time, it has those dramatic moments. And I think both of these girls being able to hit those dramatic moments really well is what really winds up selling it.
And that chemistry is off the charts.
Oh, they are really, really good. All
the way to the very, very, very last second shot. I mean, it's apparent.
Yeah, it sets itself up really well. My only downside to it is the ending of it is awfully fortuitous, like where they get into a guy's car and like stuff. Yeah, when one is in a precarious position because we don't want to spoil it. One is in a precarious position after she created a stunt at a party. The other one has to get her out of that precarious position. And there's just kind of like, as she's walking in, she sees a poster on the wall and she goes, oh, that's how I get her out of this position. And I was like, damn, I couldn't have seen that coming because it's so fucking random.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I get that a little bit.
That was literally my only knock on the movie. I love this movie like a lot. I cracked up.
I completely let that go because this was probably one of the best times I've had in the theater, and it was really surprising because the trailer looked fine. You know, it looked fine. I mean, I knew I wanted to see it, but like
the trailer looked like I described it. It looked like super bad for girls.
Sure,
like,
sure,
it's what
sure.
It looked,
exactly.
But it winds up being so much more than that.
Way more, and not just them. It's a massive ensemble, and there's a lot of non-actors that played a lot of different important roles in this movie, and it was really genuine. Very fresh. I absolutely loved it. It's an A for me. Yeah. I really, really loved it.
It's an A- for me. There are some things like, and especially with comedies, like I like your more talky comedies. You know what I mean? Like the slapstick comedies.
This was talky. What are you talking about?
But some of the physical humor.
Well, the brand sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To each their own. I hear you.
You know, there's a moment where they both go into like their own kind of like cartoonish world where they're both dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's stop motion.
I wasn't crazy. I wasn't crazy about that moment.
I wasn't.
Jason Sudeikis.
Artistically, I respected it, but like
Jason Sudeikis' character seemed like Jason Sudeikis.
It could have been better.
Playing like
could have been better.
I wasn't crazy about that role. I wasn't crazy about so there's little things in there that I don't love. That I don't love,
understand.
But I do really think that as far as a comedy goes, they nailed it more so than any comedy I've seen this year since I would say Game Night. They nailed the comedy formula so well in this movie, and I
did like Game Night a lot.
I really enjoyed this film. All right, so Jay, moving on to our next one. This one's going to fall to me. This is the live action remake of Aladdin.
Here's the basics. Step 1, rub the lamp. Step 2, say what you want. Step 3, there is no step 3.
Can you make me a prince?
Showtime. Feel free to interrupt me anytime you don't understand. I'm kidding. Don't ever interrupt me, no matter what.
All right, so this film was directed by Guy Ritchie, and it stars Will Smith, Mina Massoud, and Naomi Scott. And honestly, both Mina Massoud and Naomi Scott, they haven't had a whole lot of roles. Mina Massoud has been on like the Jack Ryan series and stuff like that. But for the most part, fans of that Power Rangers film that came out back in 2017 may remember Naomi Scott as Kimberly, the Pink Ranger in that movie. But really, other than that, they haven't had a whole lot of prominent roles. So they really went for the fences, kind of went with like unknowns for this. And I got to think that was mainly because of their look, more so than their acting ability.
I think so.
Because I'm going to be honest.
They're kind of unknowns, right?
Naomi Scott is I think she plays a good Jasmine.
She's beautiful. Yeah.
I think she brings a lot to the role, but I'm not sure whether that's her or the script. And I did not like Mina Massoud as Aladdin at all. But the person that really grinds my fucking gears in this movie is Marwan Kenzari. And he played Jafar. And I've been saying it since we did Trailer Parks on it. That Jafar's fucking whack, dude. Like, it's just fucking whack. The person who really surprised me in this film, man, I gotta say, Will Smith. I didn't think that anyone could do the genie as good as Robin Williams, and I was right. He doesn't do it as good as Robin Williams because he does it differently. He goes a different direction with it.
Okay.
He does his Will Smith thing with it, but it 100% works in the film. Will Smith works as the genie.
I could see how it could work, and I'm happy to hear that it worked for you.
It does,
because I could have seen it work Big Willie style, and then I could have also seen it work where it just felt like I guess you could say poorly written,
dude.
Right?
He's not a revelation or anything like that, but he gets the laughs in the movie.
Okay,
his character works.
So like every time he's on screen, it's very refreshing. And
it's literally the only thing I liked in the movie.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Jack.
Okay.
So if the scene that you're watching wasn't a shot for shot remake, then of something that came before, then it was something that was added needlessly. Is what it comes down to. But Will Smith as the genie is something that I really enjoyed. I also really enjoyed the not the additional songs that they gave Jasmine, because Jasmine got 2 songs, and while I like the more focus on Jasmine, I do like that they gave her like a bigger role in it. She wasn't just there, you know.
Yeah.
They gave her a bigger role.
That's expected.
I did like that stuff. Everything with Aladdin I didn't like. And that's who I should like, right? Like, I should root for the riffraff, the street rat. I don't buy that. Would they see a poor boy? Anyway. No siree. They'd find out. Having the songs be a little bit of a different tempo was a little off for me, because I like to sing along, you know what I mean? How
honestly, was the music?
Fine. Can I be honest? Having DJ Khaled sing a song at the end of the film where they pretty much redo the Hitch, like they pretty much redid Hitch. So Hitch ended famously like with like the dance off and stuff like that, and everyone gets in a line and all the main characters dance and stuff.
Jeez.
They did it in Aladdin. They did it like, what was that last thing that Will Smith did that was popular? Everyone goes, Hitch maybe, and they go, let's end it with that, but let's have DJ Khaled do it. And then DJ Khaled's like, yo, DJ Khaled, Aladdin soundtrack one time on the Father.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, you know, every time you get a nice beat, DJ Khaled's voice has to fucking like jump over top of it. I can't stand it. Anyway, hey, it's a nice song you got there. Can I scream my name over top of it? That's DJ Khaled to me. But anyway, yeah, I gotta be honest. I just like, it was just so is what it comes down to. It was just, if you put this next to the animated, I'm just going to pick up the animated every time. Part of that might be nostalgia, but also like they didn't exactly knock it out of the park here. It wasn't anything that blew me away, right? Like, I really liked the Beauty and the Beast one, because I thought that Emma Watson brought something to the Bell role that meant something. I liked the visuals in that film. Guy Ritchie's visuals in this, I don't like. I'm not crazy about it. I am not crazy about how the genie looks. I am not crazy about the brightness and the background.
I think this might very well be a contract film for Guy, a la Tim Burton.
You
with
think
Dumbo?
But what is Disney contracted Guy Ritchie to do before this? That means he signed a contract with Disney to do
I'm
this
thinking
movie.
Warner Brothers. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're thinking Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You're thinking,
my bad.
Yeah,
because I was thinking King Arthur, because that was Warner Brothers. Okay,
but no,
sorry.
So like, it just, everything about it is just so, and your villain is shit. Your villain is shit, and I don't get it. I'm sorry to spoil this for everybody.
A good villain.
You don't get a giant snake.
Oh, jeez.
Jafar does not turn into a Rickum, rake, hit that sword to that snake. Like, you don't get it. It's not there. Sorry. It's not there. And a lot of those cultural references that the genie made in the original movie are not here. They kept them very grounded in like this 13th century type of Arabia type references and stuff like that. So, I mean, my enjoyment of it, super low.
Grade?
A C.
Okay.
A C.
Okay.
Will Smith is not the guy that can carry a movie by himself anymore.
I'm surprised. Well, we actually will definitely see with Gemini Man.
We will.
That's 100%.
You
double dose of Big Willie.
You liked that trailer. You wanted me to watch that.
It's an Ang Lee directed movie.
There was a Mission Impossible level to that trailer that you wanted me to check out.
There is something there that I'm intrigued to see.
Not at all.
However, I was oddly surprised that the younger version technology did not look good in that movie. When I was really startling, because they've been doing a pretty good job other than
when I saw that trailer,
lately.
I was just like, so to me, that is like, that is when I go to Walmart.
It's Looper. Looper, right?
No. When I go to Walmart and I look in the $5 bin in like 5 years, I will see a 3-pack on Blu-ray of iRobot, I Am Legend, and Gemini Man. They will all be together because they're all probably about the same caliber. It's not that I think Gemini Man's going to be bad. It's that I think it's going to be it's going to be so. Like it's just going to be not
the same
fantastic.
Trailer park. The same trailer company put together that trailer along with the Terminator trailer.
Makes sense.
I think they kind of had the same style. It was like this weird somber music with action and like set pieces going on. It was weird.
Look, dude,
but I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Here's what it comes down to.
I'm curious to see what it's like.
You have kids, they like Aladdin, get them out there, take them to see it.
Okay.
That's fine. It's going to be coming to Disney Plus once that streaming service starts. More than likely, just wait for that.
I'm sure I'll catch on that.
Yeah. My daughter loved it. So one of the things Logan has been doing, like after she watched that, she's been getting into and I kind of mentioned that a little bit with like her checking herself out in the mirror and slapping her butt and stuff. But she also likes like the dancing in it. Like she really, really liked the dancing in Aladdin, like that very like Eastern type of, the very Bollywood-esque type dancing that they were doing in the film. My daughter loved it, and I was like, that's fun for her, and I get that. To me, it, while I think that it fit in this film just fine, and it did add a little bit of flourish and flair to it, everything else around that, it was just whatever. Like
I would like to see more Bollywood stuff involved with Hollywood movies, because it is a huge part of the world.
That stuff was interesting to me because I was like, this is something I didn't see in Aladdin before, and I like it. I like the style. I like this music, but I just didn't care about so much other shit in this movie. I did not care about the villain. Did not care about Aladdin.
It made a decent amount of money in the box office. I'm not sure if it's going to have legs, though.
No, it does. It will not. It will
I'm sure it will fall away rather quickly.
Here's one thing
especially as we enter the summer months.
Here's one thing I do know. This poor performance from Aladdin, we could say, will have zero effect on Lion King whatsoever. It's had zero effect on me. I still really want to see the Lion King because
it's apples to oranges. I mean, come on.
I love Jon Favreau. I love The Jungle Book. I'm fully on board with this. I'm still not even going to call Lion King a live action remake because there's no live action in that movie whatsoever.
No, you can't say that.
Maybe live settings.
A live action remake is Aladdin.
Yeah.
Period.
All right, Jay, you got a film that you want to review for us. You have Rocketman burning out his fuse out here alone.
Oh, yeah. So I got to the theaters and went to Dolby and saw Rocketman.
And I think it's going to be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh, no, because I'm a Rocketman. Rocketman burning out his fuse out here alone. Sorry, we have to do that because I can't play the trailer for this because on YouTube, if I play the trailer for this, it has so much Elton John music in the trailer that they will flag this episode as copywritten.
And you'd rather hear us anyway.
So I can't play the trailer like I did for the rest of the films in this. And I also, I just love fucking singing Elton John.
Sure. So, okay, let's get into it. This is a definite musical fantasy about Mr. Elton John's fantastical life and his breakthrough years mostly. It's not so much like a biographical type of film as, say, like Bohemian Rhapsody was last year, and that was much more watered down PG-13 version. Breezed right through all those years. This definitely cuts into, it's a musical, and I think that's a big part of the things that for me I did not like, because normally I do not like musicals other than La La Land, of course. But anyway, so this it definitely starts off with him entering AA meeting, like, kind of like his breaking point, kind of rock bottom period, I guess you can say. And he's sort of slowly recounting his life, and he's got this elaborate costume on, and little by little he's taking it off and stripping himself away.
Please tell me that this song comes up at some point.
Oh, there's a lot of good songs.
Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did?
Oh, yeah.
Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid.
There's a big musical sequence with that. Yeah.
Awesome. That's my.
I actually think you would really like this, Dave.
I said that's my favorite Elton John song ever. Right. I know like a lot of people love Rocketman. They love Tiny Dancer. That song to me is my favorite Elton John song because when that comes on, I just like. I do feel like a little kid. Like I start, if it comes on in the car, I start dancing in the car because I love that Elton John song, man.
It is a very refreshing kind of spin because it is sung by Taron Egerton, because he is playing Elton John, and he's fantastic.
So he's actually sung Elton John before. That exact song that I was just singing, I'm Still Standing. He sung that in the animated movie Sing. He sung that song, and I even said during our trailer park,
John notice. Yeah.
I thought that's exactly what got him this role.
I think it did. I know Justin Timberlake was on a considerable list.
No,
because
Justin Timberlake fat. No, no.
Well,
no.
He played him in a music video like 10 years ago, some silly music video, I guess. But anyway, so it's directed by Dexter Fletcher, who helped finish Bohemian Rhapsody last year. Not many people know about that, but of course us movie geeks do. And he does a good job with really just embracing this world. And Elton John was obviously a producer, a lot of hand in this property, and pulling a lot of his life into
someone
the
say
movie.
He lived his life like a candle in the wind.
Well, in a very small contained film, he definitely breezed through a good chunk of his ups and downs of his life, and a lot of it was pretty dark, and he did not shy away at all. A lot of it is about a recovery, not just his addictions and stuff, but the darkness that he had to grow up with a broken family and a very really bad toxic kind of broken
and
family.
Claiming himself, like finding who he is,
claiming
and
himself,
who he is.
his sexuality, that time period, and just the music business in general, especially back then, is just tough. It's just tough.
I'm like super fucking remiss that I didn't get to see this movie this weekend.
I really want you to see it.
I had to choose between this and Godzilla King of Monsters. I knew you were seeing this, so
I understand for the show.
For the show,
it's better to find that balance. But
I went and saw Godzilla because let's face it, who's gonna find the to steal a line from Aladdin? Who's gonna find the diamond in the rough in Godzilla King of Monsters? You or me?
You.
Exactly. So
yes,
I took the bullet. I went and saw that. You saw this. I'm super disappointed in that. When I saw this trailer for the first time, the thing that really sold me on Rocketman was this moment where I believe he's at Mets Stadium, right? And he's looking like super haggard and like he's like barely standing, and they hand him his bat, and like he just perks up and he comes out and he's fucking Elton John. And I was like,
exactly. And that's kind of tied in with the film, because he does.
That sold me on it.
It's him putting on his show, because deep down inside he's miserable.
Can you play pianos in that in those shoes?
But that was the very tail end of this whole musical montage. Like it's kind of like a cliff notes of like what he's going through. Like there's a whole sequence. Yeah. That end of that sequence. Okay, so the beginning of that sequence, I'm sorry, is him overdosing. Okay. Going to a hospital, and this whole one take transition all the way to a stadium performance. It was like really impressively done. And they do that maybe 3 times, maybe something like big and extravagant like that. But
with his pantheon of music that Elton John has done, you need multiple montages to fit them all.
Oh yeah. And it was interesting to see their takes on certain songs. Okay. Like for Tiny Dancer, for example, it's a low key, chill, hippie house party, and it's like a low key song as he's slowly navigating through his way in the party, and he's just kind of singing, and it was interesting. It was a different kind of take. So again, the music's there,
but
it's
I'm sorry,
just different kind of style and takes on them.
The best use of Tiny Dancer in a movie ever is still Almost Famous, though, right?
Ah, sure. It always will be. It always will be.
Just making sure.
And okay, so there's a lot of elements that I did love this, and Taron Egerton did a phenomenal job. He really did, along with Richard Madden.
Okay,
was fine.
That was the next
Bell, question. Was really good as well, but there was just something about the flow of the movie, some pacing elements, and it just. I'm giving it a B. I feel like I'm talking it up a lot higher than my grade, perhaps.
Okay.
But it's just, as far as my taste and my enjoyment throughout the movie, and like I said before, initially, it's a musical. And the musical element stuff sometimes doesn't sit well with me. And at times it did not. because of other characters singing, other kind of things going on.
So,
and I just didn't like the flow.
Here's my big question, because this is an actress that I like sometimes, and I definitely don't like other times. Bryce Dallas Howard. How was she in this?
She was actually very good.
Was she? Okay.
She was very good as the mother, and
Reggie's mother.
She's almost unrecognizable. She was very good.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
So,
no, the acting actually all around was really pretty solid.
I love Taron Egerton, so he's like I have a man crush on him.
This role really solidified him for me
as an actor.
He was on the fence with me for a long time actually. Okay. And
I think you're going to see more roles like this from him, because we know that he wants to step away from.
You saw
Kingsman.
Eddie the Eagle, right?
I did. Yeah, I love that movie.
And I keep hearing, see that movie because
it is
he's
streaming
on
Amazon Prime right now. So
is it? Okay.
Jump on it.
And I heard that's kind of an under the radar movie that more people need to seek out. And I am one of them. So I will check it out as soon as possible.
Eddie the Eagle is fantastic. Yeah. I mean, if you don't know what the story of Eddie the Eagle is,
I do know the story.
Kind of like a failed skier, but also an Olympian at the same time.
True story.
Like, true story.
Yeah.
100% true story.
This tiny little country.
Hugh Jackman, also fantastic in that movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome movie.
So I'm meaning to see that. So I'm going to try and check that out soon.
Yeah. All right. So you gave it a B plus. B plus.
B.
Not even a B plus.
Not even a B plus. I'm giving it a B.
Wow. Because not gonna lie, the reviews for this are like stand out. Like this has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score, even though that means shit to me. It means nothing to me. It has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than Bohemian Rhapsody did. So,
well, right, and I gave Bohemian Rhapsody a B plus. And I think for this, just because of the movie structure itself, being more of a musical, took away elements from me, even though I liked and appreciated the dramatic moments more in this movie. So
it's weird that a guy whose favorite movie is La La Land is downing a movie because it's a musical. So just say
it's just different kind of musical structure. That's really what it is.
All right, fair enough. All right, Jay, let's just get into the last review.
Absolutely.
That we have Godzilla.
That's all you, buddy.
King of Monsters.
Run. How many of these things are there?
1, 2,
17 and counting. Long live the king.
You know who it is. You know who it is. Good thing he's on our side. You know who it is.
The Monarch Organization.
Holy crap, you're the Monarch! So, you've heard of the mighty Monarch then?
Is falling under scrutiny for its knowledge of the Titans. They are under investigation to be controlled by the U.S. government. And there are two branching organizations of the Monarch. There are those that believe that the Titans are there to save humanity, and those who believe that they are there to save humanity through their destruction. And you get two basically dueling sides of this, and they begin to awaken the Titans for good or bad. Some are there to help us, some aren't. And the big baddie Titan that gets awoken is, I keep wanting to say King Gonorrhea. The three-headed dragon monster that represents pollution and the destruction of the world by humanity, and the King of Monsters himself, Godzilla, who must rise up and defeat the king, while there are a slew of other kaiju monsters throughout this entire film. And that is...
Was there any sunlight in this movie?
No. Very little. There's some. There's a lot of fire. A lot of fire. So
the whole trailer was dark.
So, I mean, let me get this out right now. This cast is absolutely phenomenally star-studded, man. Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, Ji Yang, Bradley Whitford, Charles Dance, Thomas Middleditch, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Like, these are all people who are both either on the rise or extremely popular actors who I find very good in other films. Fuck it. Who cares if they're fucking in this movie, because they don't do shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The human story in this movie means absolutely fucking nothing. None of it means anything. I don't care. In fact, when the humans are on the screen talking, I just go,
oh, good grief.
I don't care, because the monster action is so good. It's really good.
I guess that's all that really matters.
All the monsters look fantastic. The monster fights are fantastic. And I really enjoyed every little bit with the monsters and the kaiju and all this stuff. Like they also get super heavy into Godzilla lore with a ton of like Easter eggs for people who are big Godzilla fans, big kaiju fans, and people who are fans of Kong Skull Island. Gets mentioned a metric fuck ton because, spoiler warning, Jay, next film is Kong versus Godzilla. So
all right, makes sense.
Yeah, so there's a lot of mentions of that stuff. All that stuff had me geeking out. The monster fights, the mentions of King Kong, even though I hated Kong Skull Island. Just having it all in there, all that stuff like really geeked me out. But everything.
So did you enjoy the first Godzilla better than Kong?
Better than Kong, yes, and better than this. I still enjoyed the first Godzilla.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, but I like other than the monster fights, that's the only thing holding this film together. Is you're passing from monster fight to monster fight. But you're right, that is what really matters. But when you have Kyle Chandler and Vera Farmiga in this, you want something from them, and instead what I'm getting is stilted performances, shitty character arcs, and Vera Farmiga is kind of playing this role where she has like this duality to her, where she's both a loving mother but also the one awakening all the monsters and bringing this destruction, and her motivation is so fucking wishy-washy that I don't fucking get it. I'll be honest, I don't get it. And I get a lot of things. There's a lot of subtext to this film. There is and Godzilla films have always had subtext, right? Like Godzilla is a creature that was born from the radiation of the atom bomb testing that was going off in Southeast Asia. Like that is a political statement. It is a direct reaction to that. There's tons of that stuff in this film. There's a ton of those undertones. And I do love that stuff, but your human characters, what is meant to tether us to this hollow world that they exist in, because all the kaiju come out of the hollow world. So flat earthers, you didn't quite get your dream, but the hollow earth theorists, it's there for you. Here it is. This is your anthem. But in the end, like none of it is held together at all. But I gotta say, like the main monsters that are in it, man, Mothra, Rodan.
CGI was good.
It was so good. It was so good. It works. Like that stuff works.
Good.
Two giant monsters, 800, 900 feet tall, whatever the fuck they are. With like
I'm sure this has to be a passion project for a lot of these animators as well, because this is a beloved franchise and monster. For so many fans and people. So
it's so weird because it's directed by Michael Dougherty, who he directed Trick or Treat and Krampus, which Krampus I enjoyed and stuff like that. But it's so weird that he directed Trick or Treat, which is kind of like this indie horror film that was very kitschy, to Krampus, which is a very kitschy horror Christmas movie and stuff, very Gremlins very.
Dave, this sounds like a contractual.
It was not
shooting film.
It was not
that they dumped all the money into the CGI.
I don't know
for the fight sequence.
I think Michael
Dougherty,
you have
all these actors in here.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Michael Dougherty is such a kaiju fan. I think he did a fantastic job directing the fights between them. That he allowed the acting to get into a cheesy, very, very
almost like a relief form, almost so. No, I want to say comic relief, but just a fun, easy, breezy kind
almost
of
like he didn't
relief
care
from the drama of the fight sequences.
It's like they got
monsters.
Good actors to deliver shitty lines because that doesn't matter. Here are just a bunch of names that we can tag onto this and say that they're in it. These are all people who are very popular in Hollywood right now. A lot of them, especially Kyle Chandler, Millie Bobby Brown, and O'Shea Jackson Jr.
That's very true.
So those are names that you can put up there, and people are like, "Oh, I like all those people. I want to go see this." But that's not who you're here to see. You're here to see the king of fucking monsters. You're here to see Godzilla, baby. That's what you're here to see. And I gotta say, that stuff alone, devoid of a story, is not enough for me. It's not enough. There's the story literally is monsters are rising. Godzilla has to fight monsters. Done. You know, and he does fight, you know,
kind of like the good guy of some sort.
And he does fight like King Ghidorah like 3 fucking times in the film. So by like the second or third time he's fighting him, you're kind of like, whatever. Like, you know, Godzilla wins one, he loses one, he's coming back for the final battle. It's very Rocky. You know, it's very Rocky. You know, it's just there's just not enough here for me to say like go see this movie. Now, if you are a kaiju fan, if you are a fan of Godzilla and stuff like that, 100%, you're going to champion this movie. You're going to fucking love this movie. It is all for you. Me, not a huge kaiju fan, seen maybe 2 or 3 of the original Godzilla films and most of them are a laugh to me, like where I find them very cheesy. I understand their place in film history. I understand what they're meant to be and stuff like that. This is it's taking it so seriously that it's almost laughable. The way the actors are portraying, like they're taking it so seriously that it's laughable at times. Like it just, everything about the human characters just bothered me to my fucking core. And there's even a point where a bad guy is giving a speech. Like he's giving a speech about his big bad guy plan. And then like he turns around and he turns on a screen which has like graphical displays of his plan, as if like, I knew I was going to make this completely random speech right now, so I have a graphical display set up for it. Here you go. Here's my slideshow. Here's my fucking PowerPoint. You liking it? You liking it? You getting it? Okay.
You know, honestly, it was one of those things where like I want to get behind this franchise. I just know it's not for me, and I just can't get behind it. I can't get motivated. Everything
we thought King of Monsters was going to be in our old trailer parks, where we talked about it back when this trailer was released last year during Comic-Con. That was a year ago, by the way.
Yeah.
It's everything we thought it was going to be. It is big monsters fighting, and that shit is fucking cool. It's fucking cool. Other than that,
that's it. Yeah,
that's it, man. Don't even bother trying to follow any type of plot. Just know that Godzilla wins one, he loses one, he comes back in, and he fights in the end. And whatever happens at the end happens at the end. There's a end credit scene, but you know what? Fuck it. Like I stayed for the end credit scene, and I saw it, and I go, okay. Like, okay. I guess that's gonna have some importance.
Is it worth staying for?
Nah, just watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. Just watch it on YouTube. It involves Charles Dance, you know? It involves Tywin Lannister being a bad guy. I've seen him be a better bad guy on Game of Thrones. So fuck it. Just you know, Godzilla, King of Monsters.
If it's your jam, you know it's your jam. Go see it.
Exactly. If you're not like if you
give it grade.
If you didn't like Pac Rim or you didn't like Godzilla 2014. Don't go see this.
Okay.
Like,
what's your grade?
Wait for it to come out. It'll be on HBO. Trust me. Warner Brothers HBO. They're like, they're fucking super.
Their penises docking.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, my score C-.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a story guy. You have to make me care about your story. You have to make me care about your characters. That's what's going to drive me through it. If you leave me nothing on the table other than spectacle, then I'll enjoy the spectacle for what it is, but just make that a half hour of 2 dinosaurs fighting.
I understand.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've gotten lizard action, you know, that's better than this in other things. Thanks, Steven Spielberg. You know, I mean, like it's not for me. It's what it comes down to. It's not for me.
Right. And some people might love this and might give it an A category type of thing, but
it's true. There's huge defenders of this film that are just like, if you don't like it, you don't get it. And I'm probably in that camp. I'm probably in the I don't get it camp. And I'm sorry that's the camp that I'm in. It's just that if you're going to make something, make it worthwhile. If you're spending money to make this film, it's probably very fucking expensive. If you're going to make something...
It was. You could tell.
Yeah. If you're going to make something of this caliber, make me give a fuck about it. Make me give a shit about whether Godzilla dies or not.
To be honest...
Because to me, at one point, I go...
for the international markets, and guess what? They don't need dialogue, Dave, because it's all about the action.
Well, then
it's less subtitles. It's less dub over.
Then you wasted Kyle Chandler, you wasted Vera Farmiga. You wasted them.
Like we talked about.
Yeah.
Contracts.
Or maybe it's the fact that this is a big summer blockbuster, and being in it just propels their... It keeps them alive.
It keeps them in the zeitgeist to some degree, because especially, like I said, this is going to do gangbusters in obviously China, you know, but the international markets. I think even they knew the U.S. markets wasn't going to go crazy over it. They wanted it to.
You want to know the sick
That's why they hired Millie. But like, you know, it's just one of those things where they knew it's going to be more of an international thing.
Right.
So that's why you dumbed down the characters, not much of a story, and they focused more on the
You want to know the
the
disgusting,
monsters.
sick thing about myself? You want to know? You like truly, like,
which one?
Deep down, is that because I got all the Easter eggs and because all this stuff. I'm still excited for Kong versus Godzilla. Like
that's probably the only one I'm going to see.
But like the thing is, I hated Kong Skull Island.
I saw Kong.
I didn't like this. I was so on Godzilla 2014.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I even care?
I'm more of a
about
Kong person than a Godzilla person, so I think
I just want to know how this tiny monkey, because compared to Godzilla,
I know
Kong's a tiny monkey. I want to know how this tiny monkey's going to beat up a big lizard guy.
It could be fun. It could be fun to see, but like
it did enough for me that I want to go see a giant monkey fight a giant lizard. Fair enough. Like it did enough for me that I'm so interested. So congratulations, Warner Brothers. You fucking duped me into going to pay for another one of your fucking movies. Even after I didn't like the second Fantastic Beast, even though I haven't liked 90% of what you've put out in the DCEU.
No, honestly,
and
Warner
I haven't
Brothers
liked
has
these.
been.
But you're duping me. You're still duping me. How the fuck are you doing it? It's like Dragon Ball Z. It just ends with a guy screaming and about to do something cool. So I'm like, well, I got to come back next time to see them do something cool.
We briefly talked about this before a little bit ago. Warner Brothers did clean house a little bit, you know, in the top echelon of executives.
I would still think this is still under the old.
No, it is. No, it is. It is
still under the old.
But like, for example, Robert Pattinson's The Batman. That's kind of more in the new wave. We got Joker. That's probably going to be in the.
Why did you bring up Robert Pattinson now? Got to say it. I'm okay with it. I like it. I think the dude's got a fantastic fucking chin.
I think most people know that I am on board with it as well.
I think protein for 6 months, and that dude's gonna look pretty jacked.
Yeah,
I like it.
But I think what they said was they're definitely focusing on the early aspects of it and the detective aspect of Batman.
Pattinson. Let's face it. If you've seen any movie that isn't Twilight series,
you would be probably behind this. Yeah.
He gets the brooding Batman thing down so well. Just go watch High Life. Like that is him brooding for 2 hours. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for Super Movie Brothers tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. There was a lot to get through. I know it might have sounded a little scatterbrained and stuff
I
like
had fun with it.
Yeah, but me and Jay try
my style.
Try to bring our flavor and just bring you the most honest reviews that we can, the way that we see them. If you're enjoying the show, please go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. Even if you don't listen to us on iTunes and you have an iTunes account, please go over there to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. That's the way we grow. It's the way we get seen. If you'd like to be involved with the show a little bit more or reach out to Jay and myself, you can reach out to us on Twitter at SuperMoviePod. You can reach out to Jay on Facebook, Super Movie Bros Podcast on there. You can reach out to us both on Instagram. Jay runs the Super Movie Bros Beer podcast, Super Movie Bros Beer Instagram, and I run the Movie Cocktail Instagram, so you can reach out to both of us on there. We are, of course, still part of a network. We are part of the Podfix Network. So make sure you head over to podfixnetwork.com and you can check out all the great shows that are part of the Podfix Network. You can also check out all of our movie cocktail recipes. They do get posted up there. And we also brought to you by a sponsor. It is Blowfish. So if you would like to cure your hangovers quickly and efficiently, make sure you head over to forhangovers.com, use the promo code SMBFish, get your 15% off. And finally, the Trailer Park music you heard before we got into the Trailer Park segment was brought to you by our good friend
Thomas Iannucci.
Yeah, our good buddy Thomas Iannucci, straight out of Hawaii, Hawaiian Grammy Award-winning artist, you guys.
Damn right.
He does have some new singles out, so make sure you can follow him on Twitter at Thomas_Iannucci on there, and you can catch him on Spotify. So I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Have a great night. Cheers.
Cheers.